Today we are going to understand and discuss about history of yoga with reference to one of the great masters of yoga whose name is Patanjali. So he has written a book, Yoga Sutra. The name is Yoga Sutra. That is why we say it is Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Like we say Newton's law of gravitation. So who has coined the new law of gravitation? Newton's. Einstein theory of relativity. Einstein, you are aware of Einstein? Einstein was a great scientist. He lived in Princeton. I went there to see. Okay. So every has some issues with internet connection. So first thing to know, we will go back into the history when the yoga was originated. It is more than 6,000 years ago. 6,000 years ago. So understand, 6,000 years. Today is 2020. This year is 2020. Minus 6,000 years. That much old is yoga is. So we will, in the next lesson, we will understand that the oldest book on yoga and also how many masters have contributed in the discovery and understanding of yoga. So in this today's lesson, we have some of the words that we will use. One is sutra. What is sutra? So literal meaning of the sutra is formula. So they are compressed. Many principles are compressed into acronym or a single liner. They become the sutra in yoga. And sutra in chemistry, they become like an acronym, H2O. So H2O, we all know that it is water. How do I know that H2O is a symbol of water? Because I have basic understanding of the chemistry. Chemistry is a branch of the science that understands chemical reactions with one element and the other. So when we say H2O, because I have a background of chemistry, so I can say H2O means two atoms of hydrogen. That is why we say H2. And O means oxygen. So now we can expand that formula. Water contains hydrogen and oxygen. So like this, on an H2O, you can write a book that may run into thousands of pages by a simple formula. Is it the same with the Yoga Sutra? Yes. It is the same with the Yoga Sutra. Every sutra is one-liner statement of the principle, and the practice is hidden into it That is what is known as Patanjali Yoga Sutra. How many sutras Patanjali wrote? So one group of historians say that it is 195. Then one more sutra is added. Some people say it is 196 sutras. And this 195 sutras are divided into 4 chapters. 4 chapters. So the first chapter is known as Samadhi Pada. So in this today's lesson, we are going to understand couple of sutras from Samadhi Pada, the first chapter. You say chapter 1, chapter 2, and after that you have the name of that chapter. Now the word came. What is the word came? Samadhi. What is Samadhi? Samadhi is the highest state of meditation or mindfulness. What is highest state? How do we understand the highest state? So when you reach to the highest state of meditation and mindfulness, then you need not to practice meditation. You always live in meditation 24/7. You live into that. So you live into that state of. So what the highest state of meditation brings? It brings an end to the suffering. Then you don't fall prey to the anxiety, the duality, the conflict, the depression, pain, and the suffering. That is the result of the highest state of meditation. If you eat an ice cream, do you love ice cream? Yes. So when you love ice cream, so that happiness remains for 5 to 10 minutes and the mind is craving for it again and again. After the lunch and the dinner, we say, okay, let me have now dessert. No, I love ice cream. So every time after the meal, we want to, just a minute. Every time we have a dessert. Why? To have a pleasure. Why I said so? When we reach to the highest state of meditation, then there is a continuous journey of continuous state of peace and happiness in our day-to-day life. So that is the brief about Samadhi. So we also, in couple of the sutras that we are going to study, we have to use very good, every you join. So what we were talking about, Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Let me summarize. So our lesson is History of Yoga with reference to Patanjali. Who is Patanjali? A great enlightened master. What is Yoga Sutra? Yoga Sutra is a book. Who has written the book Yoga Sutra? Patanjali. What is a sutra? So sutra means a formula. So I gave one example. H2O means H2O is a chemistry formula for water. So why we create such formulas? Now H2O represents, when you open the sutra, what happens? Two atoms of hydrogen, that is why H2, one atom of oxygen. Then we H2O, what is the reaction between oxygen and hydrogen that made water that we drink and use in our daily life? 70% of our body contains water. So, going back to the sutra, sutra means it is a compressed form of a knowledge. So, it is a compressed form of a knowledge. So, similarly, when we use the word Patanjali Yoga Sutra, that means the Yoga Sutra contains compressed knowledge, like a zip file. Zip file is only one. When you open the zip file, you get maybe 50 documents. Yeah? Some are images, some are written text, some are videos. You can compress them all into one zip file. So the sutra is also like a zip file. If you don't know how to open the zip file, you cannot read and watch any document there. Similarly, Yoga Sutra or zip file, we must know how to open it. Why to open it? To understand yoga. To understand yoga, to learn in detail about principles of yoga, practices of yoga. So then we came down to the words in Sanskrit from the sutra that we are going to use in our lesson today. And one of them is samadhi. So then you joined us. So what is samadhi? Samadhi is the highest state of meditation or mindfulness. Why we say it is highest state?
Because that's where you enter the internal that's where you feel internal happiness.
Yes, and that happiness cannot be changed, cannot be taken away. You live into the permanent state of the happiness. First thing, the result of the highest state of meditation, and the second result, you bring an end to the suffering. What is suffering? Anxiety, duality, conflict, mood swing, upset. How many times you get upset every day? And when you reach to the highest state of meditation, what will happen? No more upset. So that is the word we are in today's lesson we are going to use. The second word, the terms that we are going to use is known as Anushasanam. Anusashan. Anusashan. Anusashan means a discipline or the knowledge that existed for thousands of years. Can I say I am the author of yoga? No, I cannot say. Can Patanjali claim that he is the author of yoga? No. Why no? Because yoga existed much before Patanjali. Much before Patanjali. So our great masters of yoga were and are very humble, kind. They do not say that I am the New York bestseller of this author book. You see that? Before writing the book, we want to plan how to become a New York bestseller. But in yoga, it is not true. So when we say Anushashan, the word Anushashan, it means that knowledge existed much before I started understanding and writing. That is why it is a discipline. Say, for example, if I say Newton's third law of motion, it is already available as a knowledge. I did not create it. I did not discover it. Yeah? Similarly, Anusashan. Then there is another word is known as Chitta. Chitta. In Sanskrit, it is known as Chitta. And in English, normally we say Chitta. We always add A before long, many words in Sanskrit. Huh? Krishna was the originator of yoga, and in English we say Krishna. Both are okay. So the word chitta means mind. If someone asks you, where do you have a mind? Yes. Okay, very good. Where the mind is located? Where? Here is the brain. Here is the brain. Mind is located everywhere in the body. Brain is located inside the head. That is the understanding of yoga science. That is the understanding of yoga science, that mind is located everywhere. Did you take breakfast today? Yes. It is a thought in your mind. So that thought is known as vritti. The next term that we are going to use. What is vritti? The thought and the thought pattern or the content of the mind. Yesterday you were feeling upset? Yes. So that is also the content of the mind. So that is also known as vritti. How many times you feel upset in a week? That is also a content of the mind. Now I was eating ice cream and I derive pleasure. So ice cream, pleasure, eating are also the thoughts of the mind. Whatever we know, understand and experience are thoughts of the mind. Understand? Now going further, another word that we are going to use in our lesson today is Nirodha. You can read that paper. Nirodha. Nirodha means empty, emptying the mind. Say for example, you want to reorganize your living room and you put all the items of the living room outside before you want to reorganize, and the living room becomes empty. Same way, if we want to reorganize the mind to succeed in meditation, we say first empty the mind. There are no thoughts at all. We empty the mind completely. So that word is known as Nirodha. Drashtu. Another word is known as Drashtu or Drashta. Drashta, I translated as seer, knower. Can I give you a true example? Do you see me?
Yes.
Yes. So you say, I see you. Right? So I see you means I'm different from you. That is that. Then only I can see you. I see the monitor. I see my dad. So dad and me are not one. They are separate from me. Right? Clear?
Yes.
So who is this I in you and where is this I? Is known as the seer. Is known as the knower. When you say I am upset, so whatever you know is different from you. So I and being upset are different. I am, this is my body. I'm just giving you a glimpse of very higher journey of yoga that we will pick up in our future lessons. Now the other word is known as Swarupa. Swarupa means essential nature. And there is another word known as Swabhava. Swabhava means non-essential nature. You were happy yesterday, happiness is gone. You ate ice cream and you get a pleasure. After 15 minutes, the pleasure is gone. So that pleasure is not permanent. So that word, that nature is known as Swabhava. Our Swabhav changes. That is non-essential nature. Oh, let me give you a simple example. You know the sugar?
Yes.
Yes. What it tastes like?
It's like sweet.
Sweet. So you have sugar cube that also tastes like sweet. You have sugar powder that is also tastes like sweet. And sugar is also a brown sugar. The color is different and still it tastes sweet. Right? So what is the common factor? The sweetness. Right? That sweetness is the essential nature of the sugar. And what are the non-essential nature of the sugar? Its different shape, color, in a powder form, in a cube form, in a brown form. We say sugar candy. The sweetness is already there, but the non-essential nature is candy. Do you like candy?
Yes.
Yes, I like candy. So similarly we have our essential nature, like the sweetness of a sugar, right?
Yes.
Sweetness, essential nature is same. It never changes, right? You understood? So that essential nature of every human being is same. Non-essential nature are different. What are non-essential nature? Name, shape of the body, gender, color.
Yeah.
So they are different, but the essential nature is the same. Did you understand that point? So what is yoga? Yoga is to discover the essential nature. That is the real yoga, my young friends. Yoga is the discovery of our essential nature. That essential nature is also known as real self, true nature. You can say it is real self, it is true nature. You should never forget this part. This is the real goal of yoga. What is the real goal of yoga? To find the essential nature. What is essential nature? That do not change. That remains the same, like the sweetness of a sugar. So what is the nature of that essential nature? Permanent peace, happiness, truth, love, wisdom. Can you find any person who says that I don't know what the love is? Everybody. Can you find any person who says, no, I want more stress, I don't want peace and happiness?
I've never.
You can never find it.
Nope.
No, even the criminal, even the terrorist wants to be in peace.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Leave aside the scholars and the yoga masters. So that is why it is our essential nature. So what is yoga? To find the essential nature. So how to get that essential nature? By the highest state of meditation or mindfulness. So that real self is also known as Sat Chit Anand. I have used another term, Ritambhara, the absolute existence, consciousness, bliss, or Sat Chit Ananda. Clear? Understood that? So you get a glimpse of the real yoga. Do I teach authentic yoga and the real yoga? No, it has been taught by our great masters. I am teaching you from the teachings and the knowledge that already existed. How long it is existing? For the last 6,000 years. What topic we are studying? A history of yoga with reference to one master. What is the name of that master? Patanjali. What book he has written? Yoga Sutra. And we have already understood Sutra. So, like sutras, we have Shanti Mantras also. Shanti means peace. Mantra, what is the term mantra is used for? That sound or a letter or a word by which we destroy the suffering in our life is known as mantra. Letter, syllable, or a word by which we remove the suffering. What is suffering? Anxiety, duality, conflict, relationship problem. I am upset. So the moment from today onward, the moment your mind says, no, I am upset, go back to your room, close your eyes, and remove that upset before you go out. That is the true journey of yoga. That is the true journey of yoga. Just a minute. खोल दो आगे. So that is the true journey of yoga. Understood? So we will chant the mantra, one mantra, together. First, let us chant Om 3 times together. Asatu ma satgamaya. Asatu ma satgamaya. Third time. Asatu ma satgamaya. Tamasu ma jyotirgamaya. Tamasu ma jyotirgamaya. Tamasu ma jyotirgamaya. Mrityorma amritangamaya. Mrityorma amritangamaya. Mrityorma amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So I will give you a break for 10 minutes. Go through it, and we will meet again in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Right, so you go through it and we will